In this video, I'm going to talk about how to prepare for the last few weeks of your pregnancy, making a plan with your midwife, coping with the pressure, and things you can do to naturally encourage your labour to start. Okay, so firstly, I want to talk about the evidence. Only 50% of first-time mums and birthing people will have had their baby by 40 weeks plus 5 days. By 41 weeks and 2 days, 75% of first-time mums will have had their baby. So you can see there's quite a high chance that you will go past your hypothetical due date. So if you get to this point, you should just know that you aren't alone. I've also been there with both my babies, so I can completely empathise with you. I can't stress enough how important it is to make a plan for the last few weeks of your pregnancy though. It will be a game changer when you get to that point, and then you'll just completely thank yourself for it, I promise. Okay, so let's call this your post-dates plan, meaning when you've gone past your due date, a few things to think about here are, firstly, do you want an induction if you go past your due date? Remember, being past your due date isn't a good medical reason alone, but if you decide that it's right for you, then where would your cutoff be? At what point in your pregnancy would you feel that it was right for you? 40 weeks, 41 weeks, 42 weeks, 43 weeks even? It's totally your choice. And I'd suggest that you have a think about it and then talk to your midwife at your 36 or 38 week appointment and tell her that you don't want to be offered an induction until X number of weeks, whatever you feel comfortable with. Being offered an induction at 40 weeks and putting a date in the diary the minute you get to your due date can have a huge impact on you. So it starts to sow that seed of doubt that you won't be able to go into labour naturally. And then you might also feel stressed, then like you're on a countdown. So giving your body that extra time without feeling any pressure from your midwife can really help give you the best chance to go into labour spontaneously. And your midwife will be confident then that you have a plan in place if needed. So remember that you're in complete control of an induction date, and it should be one that works for you and not just your hospital schedule or protocol. The second thing to think about for your post-dates plan is, if you don't want an induction, what are your alternatives? Firstly, waiting. Providing your pregnancy is healthy and you don't have any complications, then your midwife will probably be happy for you to wait until 42 weeks. If you've waited and waited and waited and you find yourself at 42 weeks and you decide that you still don't want an induction, but you're happy to keep waiting, then you should be offered extra monitoring at least twice a week in your hospital. And then this is just to check that your baby's heart rate is good, and you'll also have an ultrasound as well to check that you've got enough amniotic fluid around the baby. Sometimes the best course of action though is to do nothing and wait to go into labour naturally, but it's completely a personal preference. Your other alternative is an elective cesarean. If you really don't want an induction, then you might prefer to have an elective cesarean. So we'll talk about cesarean shortly so you can understand what might happen if this is your choice. You'll be able to then plan around your schedule and choose a date that works for you. Your midwife will be able to tell you all your options in your very specific case, so she'll know all your history. Then once you've thought about your options and you've made a plan that you're happy with, then you should take this with you to your 36 or 38 week appointment and have a chat with your midwife about it. That way she'll be able to put your plan into action, especially important if you've asked her not to talk about induction till 42 weeks. And then remember, you can change your mind whenever you want about anything. It's your choice. Now, this is a good section to come back to once you've passed your due date. Firstly, I just want to say that babies aren't late. We're just impatient as a society. Everybody's bodies are different, and the time it takes to grow a baby varies completely from person to person. Your baby will know when it's ready. Once its lungs are ready, then your baby will release a protein telling your body to trigger labour. This brings us back to the due date chat that we just had. So knowing that your due date may be out by a few days or more should help you to understand why your baby isn't late. I promise you that your baby will be born. It might not be today or this week, but they will be born. Your baby wants to be born. They don't want to stay inside forever, even though it may seem like that right now. So I just want to share another personal story with you to reassure you. I went in spontaneous labour with my first baby at 42 weeks exactly. And with my second, I was 41 plus 2 days. So I know firsthand how difficult it can be. Every twinge, every cramp you do or maybe don't feel in those last few weeks can really get you on that emotional roller coaster, thinking this is it, let's call the midwife. And then it passes and then you feel like absolutely nothing again, feel fine. And I know it can leave you feeling confused and impatient, but I just want you to know that every cramp or twinge that you feel is your uterus and your cervix prepping for birth. So even if you're not in labour yet, it's all doing something beneficial. And it might seem like everyone around you has had their baby and you're just going to be pregnant forever, but I promise you, you won't be. Okay, so my top tips to mentally deal with this period once you're in it are: 1, be patient. I know that's easier said than done and a really mean thing to say, but as long as you and your baby are healthy and happy, then remember there's no rush. You have plenty of time. So remember we talked about your due month anywhere between 37 and 42 weeks. The second thing to do is be patient. Distract yourself. Okay, so my top tips to mentally deal with this period once you're in it are: 1, be patient. I know that's easier said than done, but as long as you and your baby are healthy and happy, then remember there's no rush. You have plenty of time. Remember, we talked about your due month, any time between 37 and 42 weeks. Okay, 2, the best way to be patient is to distract yourself. Do something nice, make plans with your friends, get your hair done, go for a walk, whatever it is that makes you feel good and takes your mind off thinking about when your baby might arrive. 3, filter your messages. If you're getting questions or well-meaning friends and family asking if you're still pregnant, then just mute them, ignore them, or get your partner to respond to them. You don't need that in your life right now. Okay, now let's talk about how you can encourage your labour to start. There are probably a million things that people have told you to try that help you go into labour, but spoiler alert, you can't make your baby come naturally if they're not ready. People often swear by something that worked for them, but it's usually just the last thing that they tried before their labour started. So definitely try as many natural remedies as you like from 37 weeks. They won't do any harm, and even if there's a small chance that it'll help, I'm sure that you would take it, but the likelihood is that eating all the spicy food or pineapple won't make your baby come. So I'll talk through all these things in a minute. But there are 2 things that can increase your chances of going into labour. 1, your baby's position, and 2, your mental state, i.e. what hormones have you got flowing around your body. Okay, so let's start with your baby's position. You want your baby's head to be pressing on your cervix to help it to dilate. A few things that can help with this are keeping active, walking up and down steps sideways. Sounds crazy, but it's really great because the asymmetric movement can really help make space for your baby to move down. As can curb walking. So this is 1 foot on the curb and 1 foot on the road. Obviously, do this somewhere quiet and safe, but that asymmetric movement again is really helpful. Also circling your hips round on a birth ball, figure of 8 or round and round, and that can help to open your pelvis and relax the muscles to make space for your baby to move into a really great position to press the head onto your cervix. And then continue to practice your optimal birth positions, and that's going to help with your baby's positioning. So that's your forward leaning inversion, your sideline release, and these will really help to balance your pelvis and ligaments. So you can try all these things from 37 weeks. The second thing that can help is your mental state. You want to be in your parasympathetic nervous system, your system of calm, meaning that oxytocin is in control. And without this, it's unlikely that you will go into labour naturally. So there are lots of ways to do this, and it will be very personal to you. Essentially, anything that makes you feel good will be a winner. These are some of the things that you might have heard, for example. So relaxing in whatever way you can. Nipple and clitoral stimulation. So this gets all the oxytocin and endorphins flowing. Anything that makes you laugh is great. light touch massage, lovely. The list goes on and on and on. You know what makes you smile, so whatever it is, do lots of that. Okay, I'm going to talk you through some of the other suggestions that you might have heard now. So sex. There is no evidence to prove it can actually make a difference. The science, though, basically, is that sex will give you a huge boost of oxytocin, which is great. Sperm also has prostaglandins in it, which is what's used to artificially induce labour. This is a complicated one, though, and obviously not for everybody, and it very much depends on your circumstances, whether you have a sexual partner, whether your sexual partner has sperm, and whether you're feeling comfortable enough to physically do it. So it's your choice. Okay, the next thing is dates. There is actually evidence that shows eating 6 dates a day from 37 weeks can help to ripen the cervix and mean that you're more likely to go into spontaneous labour. There's also a small amount of research showing that dates can affect your oxytocin receptors, meaning your uterus can respond better to your oxytocin and your contractions can be more effective. So unless you've got gestational diabetes or diabetes, then this could be a really good thing to try. A few other things that people often recommend are acupuncture, aromatherapy, reflexology, spicy food, raspberry leaf tea, and pineapple, amongst many other things. These are all things that aren't harmful, but they have very little scientific evidence. So it's worth reading up on these before you use them. So, lots of options, and I'm sure you'll try some, if not all of these, but it's worth remembering the main things that will help you go into labour are feeling calm and staying active. And as much as you can, try to enjoy your bonus time with your baby on the inside, and just remember they will be here very soon.